thank you so kindly for tuning in to Brown Eyes on this beautiful, amazing uh, day. Because remember, so as a man thinketh in his heart, then so is he. We are to think upon things that bring us a good report. We are to speak things that are not as though they were already. Well, I just thought I'd drop a couple of gems out into the atmosphere so they may manifest positively and they may land and hit home to whomever it's supposed to land with. Um, we just experienced a storm last night, actually, and it was like the storm before the storm because you heard the thunder and the lightning from a distance, and you was even hopeful because we associate thunder and lightning with rain, but there was no rain at the time. It was just severe thundering and lightning. And but it worked its way up. It was first, it was from a distance and it was kind of minor, but it was something in the atmosphere that said that a storm was brewing. It was something in the atmosphere that was saying that something was brewing in the elements. And so as the storm began to pick up momentum and as the roaring began to increase, um, you can't see me now because I'm in the dark. The lights are off. The lights went off last night, and they're still off today, but it's okay. I might have to bust out with the grill and start grilling up all the meats if they, hold, or just send them to a relative's house or something. But anyway, so anyway, the storm picked up momentum, and I tell you, it was like raining cats and dogs eventually, and it the rain finally came and caught up with the thundering and the lightning. And I don't know which one was louder, the rain or the thunder and the lightning. And it should have been soothing, but it was kind of uneasy because the winds were blowing and you didn't know if it was going to produce a storm or not. So, there's a lot of trees around here. So, this is like the second outage that we've had because of the trees and because of the storms. Uh, it's like, so, if you know anything about your ancient history and your ancient ancestors, which I had to learn because all of our history is based on someone else's interpretation or someone else's uh, illustration, if you will, of how they would think or would have wanted our history to be. And when I say our, I say people of color because we are the only race of people who do not have a heritage here. We don't have anything that represents us here in the land because all of our memory of who we really are has just been wiped away. We don't know who we are. The only way we know who we are is based on what someone has force-fed us into believing, and it does not work. It doesn't even fit. There's no similarities. There's no appearance. Like father, like son. You look like your dad. We don't look like our dad. Yet they're telling us that our dad, our father, is the God of this Bible. But anyway, I digress. So, when the storm came, and I remember investigating some of the ancient deities and what they entail, what they represent, and what they stand for, and the power that comes with each deity. And based on my name, and I believe my birth date, I found out that my ancient deities, or my ancient ancestors, or deities rather, would be actually, before I found that out, I was hearing about the ancient ancestors and how we're to pay homage and all those things like that. And because these are all people of color, these ancient deities, but we've just been programmed to think that the God of this world is a blonde hair, blue-eyed person. And we don't have blonde hair and blue eye unless we purchase it. You hear me? So there's not none of us in that. So that in itself should really raise red flags. But we've been so conditioned, it's so comfortable now to just go with the masses of dumbed downness, if you will, because it's too uncomfortable to find out the truth and actually have to start completely over building what you thought you knew into building off of the truth finally. But anyway, so I found out that my deity would be goddess Oshua. No, Oya, excuse me, Oya. Goddess Oya is the goddess of storms. And I resonated with goddess Oshun. And goddess Oshun is the goddess of water over water. And so as I began to listen to the storm rage so fiercely last night and the lights were off and honey, when I tell you when the lights go off and there's no Wi-Fi, people be about to lose their mind when they can't go online. You hear me? That Wi-Fi got you. It ain't no drugs. Now, I'm telling you what the new drug is. The new drug is the Wi-Fi. You take Wi-Fi away, and then you can have that person at your beck and call, honey, if you just dangle Wi-Fi in their face. But, so everything was completely dark. I lit some candles, which, you know, I love candles anyway because I'm kind of like an ominous, quiet person. So I was using this time to meditate, you know, because the storms, the rain was coming down so hard and so fiercely. And then it's like the rain was coming down hard and then the thunder was talking crap too. And so I had to calm myself because the winds were blowing and I was afraid that it may produce a tornado. So I had to remind myself that it's only a storm and, everything is okay. Everything is okay. And guess what? If it's not okay, can you come into a mature mind place where you're okay in the not okay? You hear me? Because who can't be okay when everything is sunshiny and peachy dory and you see the flowers and the birds are chirping? That's obvious. But who can be okay within the storm is what I'm saying. And so I made up in my mind that I was okay regardless of the matter because what is to be is already written for me as it is for you as well. And so I imagine why that rain was pounding down so fiercely and why that thunder and lightning was just talking all kind of, you know how you finna whoop somebody and you talking madness. I mean, this thunder and lightning was talking crap, and I even let my window open, so it was just right there in my ear. And every once in a while, I'll see the flickering and flashing of the lightning, and it was just up to it was going at it out there. I don't know what was going on, but something supernaturally and spiritually was taking place. And so what I made up in my mind was, since it was such a fierce storm, that was only my ancient ancestors moving hell and earth just to get me what I need. You hear me? Isn't that amazing? I feel like the gods had to step down out of heaven just to bring little old me what I need. So I could easily sit there and be fearful of the storm and panic and change the atmosphere and bring fear over my household and things like that. But I didn't want to be fearful because I know that after the storm, even when you see usually storms, you see the rainbows at the end. So the storms of life never last always. They never do. And also remember, if you're in any type of relationship, because I was thinking about this too, and everything is going so picture perfect, then there is no test and no reward in that. It's the relationships that are so challenging, so hard to face, seem so hard to endure, that are the life lessons that are intentionally set in our place in order to spiritually mature us to go to the next level or phase of our lives. That's all it is. And the storms represent building your no, not your faith, but your no. Your know that regardless to come hell or high water, you're okay. And if it's not okay, you're okay and you're not okay. You hear me? So, having said that, because I don't want to get to rambling, but I just wanted to put that out in the atmosphere because there is indeed sunshine after the storm and the rain. Because remember, even in the word, because although the word has been diluted and abused and molested severely, because it's written after the fact, there's still some good meat and some things that can apply to your life and help you today, like weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So, although it was a storm last night, it is absolutely beautiful today because it is another day. Thank you so kindly for tuning in to Brown Eyes. And remember, so as a man thinketh in his heart, then so is he. We are to think upon things that bring us a good report. We are to speak things that are not as though they were already. Thank you for tuning in to Miss Brown Eyes, and I will talk to you another time.